So, hello and welcome back to um, this MBA guidance series of videos that I've decided to record in my, holiday time. Um, so, one of the most commonly asked questions that I get is, how do I prepare for my GMAT? Because, that's the start of everything. You get a good score, that's a great start for your own MBA application journey. So, the short answer is, get the highest score that you can get, right? It doesn't harm. Personally, my own GMAT score was 760 that I got in my first attempt, and I prepared for, 20 days exactly. This was 20 days of full time effort. I was between jobs, and fortunately, the joining of the next job, I just left one job that I was consulting and was very, very hectic. And I thought I'll join the next job, and in the 1-2 months in the beginning, that'll be lighter. I'd take my GMAT. But fortunately, the joining of that job got postponed by 3 weeks. And then I decided that fine, this is the best thing that could have happened to me. I would study very hard in these 20-21 days and just take the GMAT and be done with it, because who knows what will happen when I join the next job. So yeah, that is how my preparation got squeezed into 20 days of full-time effort. And 760 was good considering that I had not prepped earlier. However, as a general advice and guidance, definitely try above 700. If you don't get it in one go, do not despair. You can take the GMAT multiple times. I know so many successful applicants who took the GMAT twice, sometimes even thrice. And as far as I know, you should check this based on individual school, but some schools do allow you to give the best of the 2 or 3 attempts that you've given. So as long as you keep improving in every attempt, I think you're good to go. So target 700 plus. The best you should try is 760, 780, depending on how much effort do you want to put, how much time do you have, and what is your target school. So next is the question I get a lot is, what books? There's so many different kinds of books and different kinds of coaching classes that are available. So, what do you choose from? So my first piece of advice is, I do not think you need coaching for GMAT, unless you're really struggling in, I would say, one area, and you feel you can't go by yourself. I wouldn't recommend coaching classes. Of course, there's so many trainers and so many people who'll come and make you feel bad about your abilities and either reading or math, and they'll try to tell you they can just help you improve. I think what really helps you improve is your own effort and your own confidence and your own ability to learn and analyze from your mistakes. And I'm a big fan of developing yourself to come to that level where you can analyze and learn by yourself, instead of somebody constantly coaching you on that. Because what ends up happening is, I believe learning is a muscle. And if you don't develop it at this point, chances are you'll go to the school of your choice, and then you'll be, bombarded with hundreds of activities and hundreds of assignments and very different kind of curriculum. And if you are not confident enough to have developed that learning muscle all the way to your MBA, then you'll struggle at that point. So it's better to, do the hard work now, and develop that learning muscle. That fine, I might not be great at something in the very first go, but I have what it takes to analyze, to benchmark myself, see where I can improve, see how do I improve, and actually act on that. So take yourself as your first project, your own GMAT as your first project, and try to, first take a basic assessment test that you get on the official GMAT site. It's a free test, free for everyone to take. Go to the GMAT website, take the test. without any preparation and see where do you stand. Okay, so that will be your first eye opener to see, well, what is your strength? Is it math? Is it verbal? Is it reasoning? What is your weakness? And yeah, how far are you from the target score? Let's say your target score is 760 or even a 740. Like, how far are you from that? And then you can come up with a plan of either 1 month or 4 months on how to systematically improve yourself to reach your goal. Okay, so yeah, start with the assessment test is step number one. Second, what worked for me was one book, that is the official guide to GMAT, and nothing else. And why I say that is because there's so many books of well, general books, then there are books for each subject, and then there's deeper books for each topic. And like, as a person, the more variety you give me, the more confused I get. And then I have this habit of trying to finish every book that comes my way. And then it becomes like, like, I'm a computer science undergrad, so it's a recursive algorithm where I keep going into loops of further and further depth without actually trying to, ace the exam in the given time. So what I would recommend is stick to one book. I recommend OG, which is the official guide, the latest version, because that's what worked for me. However, if you choose some other brand, some other version, just pick the first book, right? The first comprehensive book, solve it. Go through the chapters, revise it, see if your basics are in place, and then comes the most important step. Do not try to skip it, because no matter how many books you go through, is it one or is it many sectional books, what will make a difference in your score? And what is the difference between a great GMAT score and a very average GMAT score is your test taking skills, which just means that, well, most of you would be applying after you're after you're working, right? So once we start working, our work schedules are, well, bombarded with interruptions. We don't have that ability to sit focused for 4 hours to take a test. And I think getting into that mindset of test taking, of sitting 4 hours and focusing on a very strenuous test is something that you need to practice. So what worked for me was this simple OG, which is the official guide, that revising the OG in like 1 or 2 days and then going straight towards test taking. So I had bought a pack of, I would say 15 tests from Manhattan GMAT. They were quite expensive for their, the 15 tests, but I think it was total value for money, because each time I would take the initial tests, well, I wouldn't do great. I would get like a 650 or something, but that slowly had started putting me in the mode of, taking the test patiently, seeing that I can't focus beyond a certain point, like improving my focus muscle, improving my stamina of taking the test, and letting me ride through the bumps that happen during the test. Like, I didn't get one answer wrong and I know, but then I can still get over it, and then I can proceed with the rest of the test, right? And see that, fine, it wasn't as bad. I could still get a 650 in a mock test. So do not skip test taking, right? And slowly, as you keep taking these tests, you'll see your own scores just as a numeric indicator would improve, and so will your ability to even focus and give your best would also improve. So with that advice, I would then encourage you to, after each test, analyze what is it that you did very well on, okay, and what is it that you're struggling with, right? In my case, when I would analyze my mistakes, I would realize that I was very strong in verbal and I was very strong in reasoning. But sometimes when doing math, because I was so out of touch, I would make some mistakes in the formulas. Like, I thought things would be a certain way, but there was a shorter way of doing it, like time work problems, or say in a trigonometry problem, there was a different formula that I could have used. So each time I would make a mistake after the exam, same day, try doing it the same day, otherwise you'll forget why you made that mistake. So for each mistake that I made, I would think like, okay, why did I think this way? So was it a problem in my understanding of the formula, or is there a topic that I know nothing about, so I need to go deeper and revise? And I would make notes on just at I wouldn't repeat this mistake again. So in the next test, I'll make a different kind of mistake, but I'll make sure that this mistake, which I made in the current test, I would correct the source of that mistake. And that helped me improve a lot in the very short period of time that I had. I had 20 days. I would take tests every alternate day. So I think I took 10 to 12 tests out of my 15 test package. And the frequency of my test was like one test every day just before the test date. Otherwise, it was once every alternate day. I would take the test on, say, today, and then I would analyze in the evening, and then I would jot down certain areas that I need to revise the following day. And then day after, I would take the test, a different test again, to see if I've really improved on like a larger set of topics. So that is how I went about my GMAT prep. To sum up, I'd advise you pick one book, like the official guide, take a diagnostic test, see where you stand, revise general topics if you're feeling underconfident about them. But then the best way to learn things quickly is to take tests, analyze your mistakes, and then repeat the tests again and see that you don't repeat those mistakes. Do a thorough root cause analysis of whatever mistakes you're making, correct the concepts, and try to improve with each test. Do not get disheartened if your initial tests are around 600 or even a 580. Who cares? Your score in the final test matters, right? And that is still, I would say, 15 mock tests away. So keep test taking, keep building the test taking and concentration and stamina muscle. And if you then think that one or the other topics, such as trigonometry or algebra, needs improvement, then you're free to go through material of that in great detail and see if you want to solve more questions to develop some confidence there. However, for some students, if your challenge is RC, reading comprehension, then that might need a different kind of strategy. Though I haven't struggled with it, I see people who need improvement there. You might have to pick up a reading practice, which is like read different kinds of complicated material every day. Just teach yourself to read material that you might not really like or feel interested in. Just like force yourself to go through passages, like pick up some topic from Economist or Financial Times, like tough English, dense abstract passages, and try to force yourself to go through them slowly. It'll become easy. Reading, like everything in life, is a skill, it's a muscle, and it can be improved. So but that might take a longer sustained effort as compared to just revising some maths formulas. So with that, I would end this part of the GMAT prep video with an additional advice in the end, that you'd also need to think of how good are you at the logical reasoning. When I took the GMAT, it was 8 questions, how to read graphs section, and honestly, I hadn't prepped for it because there was no material available around it. So I took it as it is and got an 8 out of 8, but hopefully there's more material available around it now. So do prep for that section as well as for analytical writing as well. Analytical writing does have some more material available around it, but it's basically around structuring, around reading a given prompt, starting off well, structuring your argument and then concluding it well, and keeping it brief, to the point, short sentences. And there's a specific GMAT style of writing, which you will find in the official guide. So don't skip logical reasoning as well as the analytical writing bit. But in the beginning, do focus on the top 2 topics, which is, well, the reading comprehension bit and the mathematics bit, and then see how is your score on them. Cool. And if you do not get, even in the final GMAT attempt, you do not get a good score, a score that you wanted, do not despair. As I repeated, a lot of people do take the GMAT twice or thrice and they still get into good schools. So there's still hope. Just try that. Whatever attempt of GMAT you give your best shot in that attempt with the best preparation that you can do. Cool. Well, good luck.